back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. This video is sponsored by JF.EGWO. I'm Ernest and I'm a mobile mechanic. I get a lot of questions about what I do in a normal day, how many cars I look at, how much money I make. I get to choose my own schedule. Also, there's a potential to make a lot more money when you don't have the overhead that a normal shop has. So after a typical morning routine, here we go. The first car I'm going to look at is from my neighbors just down the road. They moved here from California and their air conditioner isn't working. We've just got to get this cover off the front here. That's pretty normal. And then we're going to get this air intake hose and air filter box out of the way so I can reach down there and work on that line. Kind of a little stuck there, but it came out there at the bottom. That's where that line's cut. This hose looks like it might be a little tough to work with, and there's also a sensor on the other side. Just that little sensor right there. Being able to reach this and this sensor, but luckily it comes with a sensor, so I don't have to worry about trying to take that other one out. So right now, let's undo that, and right about this point, I was starting to get pretty nervous that there wouldn't be enough room to get this hose out. Looks like it shouldn't be impossible to get to. In fact, I think I can go just right through the big open space right there. Then we've got to undo the line going down right here. And you can see that connector right there. That's one we got to go to. But since that's past the frame, I think I can just go right through here. Go ahead and grab some wrenches and a couple of shallow sockets, and we'll see if we can get that out of there. Little micro head ratchet, my shortest socket. I think I'll be able to get that on there. Okay, that's as close as I can get, and I can't even see. Should be easy to get to, just like taking that nut was off. And I've got a little eTorx bit that should be the right size for that. All right, so now I've got to take that stud off because there's not enough room to get the hose pulled out. Okay, that's out. And there's that stud. Oh, didn't want to drop it. That was a tough one. There's that. Gasket came off with it. Yep, that thing was squished. Okay, now this should be free. It took quite a bit of wiggling and moving at the perfect angle, but I got that hose out of there. It was just as hard to get the new hose in, but luckily not any harder. Just taking the cap off that new hose there. Gaskets don't come off easy, so should be fine. Getting this down. Starting to get a little warm, so I'm excited to get this job done with and get on with the rest of the day. Put this socket back on. I always take my time to double check and make sure I got everything put back together correctly. Yeah, that's nice and tight. Next thing I've got to do today is a buddy of mine's car is leaking some coolant, so I'm going to check it out for him and see where that's coming from. Okay, so here we are. Here's this Nissan Murano. Huh? Well, I'm filming, so you can help me talk about the car or something, but we got to go pick up a hose, so I thought we could go get it on the bike, on the bicycle.
Pretty clean in here.
Yeah, that's not exactly what we're worried about. Where's that? There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's go on out.
Okay.
So this has been leaking coolant.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, these hood struts as well, I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna want to replace those, but I'm just going to use this random stick here to hold the hood open. How do you get dry coolant right here exactly? I don't know. But you can see this hose right here is pretty gummed up, and there's actually like quite a bit of moisture underneath it. So I'm thinking that this hose might be leaking, or this junction here, and the customer just wants to replace both. So we're going to go grab that hose now. We're just a few blocks from one of the parts stores here. So let's go get that. I got to get the VIN number on this. Alright, so me and Mac went a few blocks away and picked up a hose, that junction, and some hood struts. And right as we got back home, I got a call out for a diagnosis. It's a 2017 Honda Civic, and the AC isn't working. So I'm going to see if I can go over and figure out what's wrong for them. As you can see in the picture, this 2017 Honda Civic has a cooling system which uses R134YF. Luckily, it's new enough as well that my code reader here could probably read the live data, and it would have a sensor that tells us the pressure of the AC system. and we could see here that their AC system just clearly didn't have enough gas. That's going to need to be recharged as well or checked for a leak. But while I was on this job, I got another call from a close friend. We needed to get his car moved out of the parking lot of his apartment complex. Someone gifted him a car a few years ago, and it's been sitting around, but he needs to move it or drive it occasionally.
Let's pop the hood.
So every once in a while, I have to go over and help him out with something. This is where JF.EGWO comes into play. They sent me this jump box a while back, but not only that, it's also a tire inflator. And since this specific issue is a dead battery and 3 flat tires, this is a perfect time to see if this tool can help us out.
I must have installed that.
So here's a look at that jump box. All you need to do is turn it on. There's a little button on the side, and then I put this hose together. And we're gonna see if we can fill up these tires with air so we can get it driving. So I just set the PSI there, and it'll stop once it gets up.
All right, we just filled up that passenger side tire. And now we're gonna do the other one. And we already jumped the car off once, and we still got 100% on this, so.
This jump box has some really bright LED lights that last for 120 hours on a charge. It feels like a well-built jump box, and it can jump up to 10 liters gasoline and 9 liters diesel. That'll start an engine in seconds. It even has 2 USB plugs so you can charge your electronics. And it has 10 built-in protections, including a short circuit protection so nothing happens if you touch the tips together.
After 3 tires. Now we did go a little bit less than their recommended PSI to 26. I was honestly just thinking I'm definitely gonna put this in my wife's trunk. I've been putting a jump box and a tire inflator in there separately, and this does both. And I just tested it, and it does both better than I thought it would. So this is my wife's new tool. That's it for this job. We're gonna head out.
I left this Murano parked at my house, and coincidentally the battery on that died too, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it right here. My kids have been painting on boxes in the yard while I've been gone.
And we've got a dead battery. No big deal though, because I've got a jump box, so let's use it. Alright. Super nice, that's all there is to it.
This jump box is super easy to use. All you need to do is turn it on by pressing the button, and then you just plug in these jumper cables. They have a built-in protection so nothing will happen if you touch them together on accident. Just line up the colors on your battery and clamp them on. These jump boxes are really nice. I hadn't even charged it since I filled up those 3 tires and jumped my friend's car twice. It would make a great gift to my dad for Father's Day. JF.EGWO sent us a discount code, and if you'd like one too, check out the pinned comment and the link at the top of the description. So I went ahead and cleaned up this Murano. It just got dry, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look and see if we can see that leak. So that's a pretty cool look at how to change those hood struts. And next time yours goes out, you could replace it yourself.
Well, I just found the problem. That radiator cap's not holding any pressure. So that is either wore out or it's got to be the wrong size. But that's probably the leak right there because there's nothing else. After I cleaned it up, there's no leaks from anywhere else. So I think we can return those parts we got and just replace the cap here.
Well, that was super nice, and it ended my day pretty early so I can work on a personal project. But then at the end of the day, I got an emergency call from an old customer, and they're gonna move to a different city tomorrow. So I'm gonna head out on an emergency call and check that out to make sure it's good to drive tomorrow. I don't work this late every day, maybe just once or twice a week, but this is just one of those days.
All right, so here we are. Okay, so we just got up here. The guy whose van this is, I've worked on this, they've been my customers for a couple years. They said they had like some sort of coolant issue going on where the coolant gauge read really low all of a sudden, and then the check engine light came on, and I told them to check their coolant. Let's make sure this isn't hot. Shouldn't be.
and they didn't. And now that I hear that, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I just thought they had me come back up here to look at it because they did check their coolant and that didn't solve any problems. But since they, I'm gonna just cut my knuckle on this thing trying to get it off. I'm sure they're low on coolant is what I'm trying to say, but this cap won't get off. There it goes. And let's see, nope, they're not. I was hoping it would just be as easy as that was empty, but we'll fill up the reservoir anyways and get this cap back on. It's a nice color Jeep. Okay, let's check this out. My guess is a sensor now at this point, because what else could it be? Oh, this door's got a trick. There it goes. Just sit up in here and get the VIN number. It would be nice if it's like an open circuit code or something. That's usually a pretty good green light to go ahead and pull the sensor out and test that. You're just planning on doing the job anyways, because that should be what it is, and you've got to pull it out to finish diagnosing it anyways. But if it's something a little more tricky, then usually you got to finish diagnosing it first before you get the sensor and just bank on that being the issue. Yeah, let's see exactly what they said. So the thermostat was showing really cold while driving. The service engine soon light came back on. That's it. Let's see what it says. I actually was just about to replace their catalytic converter a few months ago so they could pass inspections, but their check engine light went off. So they went ahead and got it registered. The catalyst system low efficiency's back. But that is it. So I'm just gonna look at the data stream then and make sure that the engine coolant temperature sensor is working. I'll probably take it on a little test drive to see if I can get it to warm up and do anything weird, and then call it good if we can't get anything to happen. I'm honestly wondering if it's not just like some sort of short in the dash or anything. We didn't have any dropouts thus far, and I'm gonna go back there and just start wiggling some stuff around, see if there's a short anywhere. If there is a short, then maybe that'll make it pop up. We'll see it drop out on the chart here. All right, we're starting to take a little while to warm up here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just hop in that thing, drive it around. Yeah, as you can see, we lost some temperature there because it's nice and cool outside. We still only have that catalyst system low efficiency code. I'm gonna go ahead and just clear that in case the service engine light comes back on. They can just stop by O'Reilly's or something and see what the code is, if it's the same or if it's something related to a sensor or thermostat. That way it gives them at least an indication of when something's changed. At least the check engine light is unrelated. I was gonna say there's your dropout. That's when I turn that key off though. Okay, looks like that worked. Let's go ahead and just check that and get back home. People always ask because there's a ton of interest in becoming mobile mechanics, and I get a lot of these questions in my email or wherever. But on a typical day, I couldn't imagine making less than $200 when it's just hard for me to put a couple of jobs together. But on my best days, I've made over $1,000 replacing engines and whatnot, so you could totally make way more money than you would at any shop. It's something that I would totally start on the side until it was overwhelming, and then I would transition full-time because you own your own tools, and then you don't have to make a huge commitment until you're ready or until it's ready. And thanks a lot to JF.EGWO for sending the tool, and for all the people who support the channel. If you like the content, consider subscribing. It supports me a ton. Or leave an encouraging comment. And I'll see you on the next episode of Roadside Rescue.